Good morning, ladies, to all my conservative lady friends out there. This is my second post for the failed policies of this current administration, which means the presidential candidate Harris. These are failed administration policies that we've been living with for 4 years. This is number 2, and it's a biggie. Our economy. I'm a small business owner, and my small business has suffered greatly because inflation has caused my product, which is insurance, one of them anyways, well, no, all of them actually, my DIY company and my mental wellness company, every single product has increased at least 40%. So the consumer is spending at least 40% more, at least. My insurance agency, the average Texas family, has seen a 65% rate increase in their home and auto insurance because of this inflation. It's a direct result of it. Insurance takes a hit just like everything else does. Food, utilities, gas, everything. The question begs, am I better off today than I was 4 years ago? Absolutely not. Actually, in my situation, the last 4 years are going to add at least 5 to 6 more years of work because I can't retire as I was planning on. That's a biggie. And I hold the failed administration completely and totally responsible for it. It has been their leadership. They claim to have won the election 4 years ago. So you know what? Guess what? It's all on you. You've had the reins. You've been in control for 4 years, and you have failed the American people on the economy completely. Nothing is where it was 4 years ago. Nothing. 401k, it's $6 for a gallon of milk, $5 for a loaf of bread. In some areas, it's even more than that, depending on what state you live in. So this administration, this presidential candidate, because she is part of the administration, she was the partner. You don't get to just all of a sudden wake up one day and say, oh, that's not my responsibility anymore. Wrong, honey. It doesn't work that way. You have been in partnership with this administration. So you own it. It's your responsibility. I don't know how young people are making it. I really don't. The middle class is dying under these policies. The average increase is almost $30,000 according to your news outlets per household in the last 4 years. That's a failed policy. It doesn't matter how you look at it or how you spin it or how you try to hoodwink the American people into thinking that we are better off financially than we were 4 years ago. We're not stupid. We're not. I think I would fall over if I actually heard one Democratic person stand up and say, yeah, it's a failed policy. But they won't do that because they are so hungry for power. The American people are lost in this equation. It's all about staying in power, keeping the status quo, but the status quo is killing the middle class. It's killing the middle class. It doesn't matter how you look at it. Young people trying to buy a house, oh, you might as well forget it unless you're in a relationship and you have a 2-income family, because the average home across the nation starts at $400,000 for a new home. Why shouldn't the younger generations just getting started not be able to buy a new home? The preceding generations did, if that's their choice, but they can't because they can't get qualified, especially if they're a single income. And I'm talking about single incomes that went to high school, went to college, have a degree, graduated with honors, and have a good government job, and they still cannot buy a home. Just think about for a second how demoralizing that is for a 30, 31, 32-year-old person who's been working for 6 years, out of college at least, and they can't buy a home. I can't even imagine how that feels. I can just watch it in my own family and see the absolute sadness because they can't get into their home and live their American dream. So, this failed policy is the economy. We are not better off. We are not. And this administration, it's on you. It's your responsibility. You've been at the helm. These are your policies. These aren't anybody else's policies, so stop trying to pass the buck. They're yours. They're own it. And maybe, just maybe, if you showed a little bit of humility and accepted your responsibility, you might be able to save some of your voters. You might. But I can promise you one thing. The conservatives in this country, we have had it. We are not radicals. We are not going to go burn anybody down. We're not going to go tear anything down like you seem to spew out of your mouth all the time. We're just sick of it, and we're going to make sure Donald Trump gets elected in November. I'm going to do everything in my power. That's why I'm doing these videos. So ladies, this is for me, volume 2. This is the second failed administration policy, and I'm going to post these every day. There's 13 of them. Every day, every week, until the election. So we can help inform those who maybe don't like to listen to the news. Imagine that. Because they don't get the news. They just get propaganda. Let's go get them, girls. Let's make sure that we get Donald Trump reelected in November. And the power of women. Yeah, the power of women. We don't have to just side with a candidate, especially when that candidate is not capable. She's proven that in the last 4 years. That's why I would not support her, because of her failed policies in the last 4 years. God bless you. Have a fantastic day. God bless these United States of America.